Welcome, subscribers and guests. You're listening to DoublePlusMedia News. Let's go. nytimes.com. Canada bans conversion therapy. A Canadian law banning so-called conversion therapy is poised to go into effect on Friday, making it a crime to provide or promote services intended to change or oppress a person's sexual orientation or gender expression. With the new law, Canada's criminal code will prohibit forcing someone to undergo conversion therapy, taking a minor abroad to take part, and profiting from, promoting, or advertising the practice. Violations can draw sentences up to 5 years imprisonment. Commentary. Is this a good law? I agree with banning the forcing of conversion therapy, but banning the suggestions or discussion about it? With this law, parents can't even talk to their kids about conversion therapy. Conversations with kids and adolescents is what we need more of, not less, especially around topics that can impact you for life. CNN. Thieves in LA are looting freight trains filled with packages from UPS, FedEx, and Amazon. Photos and videos showing piles of empty boxes littered alongside rail tracks in Los Angeles County, California have gone viral as shipping companies say they've seen a dramatic spike in railroad theft. Some of the boxes are packages from companies like UPS, Amazon, and FedEx. Union Pacific, one of the country's largest railroad companies, says it may avoid operating in Los Angeles County following the spike in thefts, which it blames on lax prosecution crimes. Commentary. Just more Aladdins trying to get by. Lax prosecution in California. Let's take a look. Well, passed in 2014, California's Proposition 47 lowered criminal sentences for nonviolent crimes like shoplifting, setting a threshold of 950 USD, under which is a misdemeanor and isn't tackled by police, according to San Francisco police chief. I can understand how this would embolden criminals. Also, the coverage of BLM protests being peaceful protests, even when they included mass arson and mass shoplifting, but I think it might go deeper than that. In 2021, the Police Executives Research Forum surveyed nearly 200 departments and found an increase in retirements 45% higher than the previous year, and resignations 18% higher. I mean, during the defund the police protests, officers are being vilified. No wonder they are choosing to avoid misdemeanor offenses that some police chiefs wouldn't even touch. Associated Press. Shkreli ordered to return $64 million is barred from drug industry. Martin Shkreli must return $64.6 million in profits he and his former company reaped from jacking up the price and monopolizing the market for a life-saving drug. A federal judge ruled Friday while also barring the provocative, imprisoned ex-CEO from the pharmaceutical industry for the rest of his life. U.S. District Judge Denise Cote's ruling came several weeks after a 7-day bench trial in December that featured recordings of conversations that Cote said showed Shkreli continuing to exert control over the company, Vera Pharmaceuticals LLC, from being behind bars and discussing ways to thwart generic versions of the lucrative drug Daraprim. Commentary. Oh, Shkreli. What a screw-elly. Jacked up prices to a life-saving drug, then, from prison, tried to help his company block generic drug. Isn't this guy like the epitome of sociopathic CEOism? Who will be the next Shkreli? nypost.com. Canada secretly tracked 33 million phones during COVID-19 lockdown. Canada's federal government admitted to secretly surveilling its population movements during the COVID-19 lockdown by tracking 33 million phones. The Public Health Agency of Canada clandestinely tracked the devices to assess, quote-unquote, the public's responsiveness during the lockdown measures. Commentary. What the F? Canada, over a year and a half, went from a nice place to a surveillance state. Drinking the Australian Kool-Aid? Build back bull poopy. Stop being creeps. Associated Press. Hundreds of migrants set off from Honduras toward U.S. border. Several hundred migrants who had deported from the Honduran city of San Pedro Sula Saturday in hopes of reaching the United States entered Guatemalan territory where they were intercepted by authorities who began talks on returning them to their homeland. Commentary. I mean, this is good, but in September 2021, there were close to 200,000 illegal border crossings. Should have built a barrier, I guess, because every illegal border crosser that gets a pass is another insult to the people who went legally and respected the country they were crossing into. Sad. Kyiv Independent. Russian-led militants released toxic ammonia in Donbas, providing red flag fears. Russian-led militants in the occupied city of Horolivka, Donetsk Oblast in eastern Ukraine released toxic ammonia gas into the atmosphere on January 14th, according to a report published on Facebook by the Defense Intelligence of Ukraine. The intelligence states that the release of chemicals could be part of a false flag operation, a pretense for a further Russian invasion of Ukraine. Commentary. I should have just said eastern Ukraine, but as I mentioned before, there is really no benefit to Russia if they start a war with Ukraine. Any gains will be immediately lost to NATO countries. I think Putin is just trying to seem powerful. Hard to do with a name like Putin. Thanks for listening, and a double plus thanks to likes, comments, and subscribers.